So, I have finally finished Darkness on the Edge of Town by Brian Keene, who is my top 3 favorite horror novelists. So, I think I've already made a video with the back. I think they call it a blurb, which sounds like something you do in a bathroom. But I'm going to do it again. Read the back, because I'm certain someone's going to watch this that hasn't seen it. One morning, the residents of Walden, Virginia, woke up to find that the rest of the world was gone. Just gone. Surrounding their town was a wall of inky darkness, casting Walden into permanent night. Nothing can get in, no light, no people, not even electricity, or radio, or TV signals. That was a redundant or. And no one can get out. No one who dared to penetrate the mysterious barrier has ever been seen again. Only their screams were heard, but for some of the residents turned prisoners of Walden, even the fear of that unseen death can't keep them from trying to escape this living purgatory. Purgatory was a unique word for them to use because it was more like hell. So, I guess it is what it is. So he used a lot of Lovecraftian myths, I guess, Lovecraftian, biblical, narrative kind of stuff. It's darkness, but what it doesn't say is it's the darkness, as in the beginning, biblical sense darkness. It was an interesting read. This was a novel that made me realize that all of King's works are actually interwoven, like a finely made $100,000 Persian rug. I read some of his other books. I think Ghoul was one, The Complex, and then The Rising and Dead Sea, and all these other books are in the same multiverse. In this book, they actually describe it as, I think they call it the labyrinth between worlds. And there's like 13 darkness, there's God, and then there's like 13 other like deities, I guess, because in the book, the main character tried to call them demons. And the crazy homeless magus, everyone has one. They're local homeless magus that live behind the church and the shack, it seems. You try to explain it to them. So, the strongest character in this book was not even the main character. The main character and his girlfriend, Chrissy, weren't strong. The strongest character was the homeless guy that had like 3 pages. But that's why I like Keene's for. He pulls from a dozen different sources and weaves his material together and makes it just like really, really cool to read. Part of this book I really like is the psychical kind of mess with your head kind of stuff. He knows how to elicit like what the hell kind of moments. Not only is there like straight physical like hell violence going on, but he actually breaks down and shows you how this little small town that's isolated starts to fall into straight anarchy. There's no lights, obviously, but there's also no sun, no moon, no stars, just candles and flashlights. It also doesn't talk about how the darkness messes with people's minds and makes them bring out their more animalist side, and not in a good sense, in probably the Jeffrey Dahmer sense, I guess, would be the best way to describe that. He uses symbology a lot in this novel to show you that society is breaking down in another way. And one of the ways he does that is to take buildings that are been part of Western culture for probably 2,000 years and burns them to the ground, which is usually a sign that society is breaking down. And also I'm trying to think of the word, generally crap fest. Society's norms are flipped backwards in this novel, or right now with the coronavirus. So I guess it is what it is. All in all, it's a great read. I like how he blurs the lines between reality and fiction. I'm reading my computer because my memory's not very good. So yeah, Lovecraftian, biblical, and Babylonian mythologies play a huge part in this series, which I think all of his books are part of. Similar to Stephen King, who weaves his stories together, and I think it kind of makes a better reading experience when you're like, okay, what does this have in common with Castaways, with The Complex, with Ghoul, with Dead Rising? And awesome, they just all go together. They're all part of the same universe, so that was great, and a little bit less, in a more of a apparent way, because the mythology is all the same. So yeah, definitely check out Darkness on the Edge of Town by Brian Keene. You will not be disappointed. And there is the Walden, and once again in this series, it's in an apartment complex, which I think Keene spent most of his life living in one, like most of us. So have a good night or day or wherever you're at. For all I know, this is being broadcast to aliens 100,000 light years from now, like 300 years in the future. So hey, what's up? I'm just messing. See y'all later.